Welcome to the webinar hosted on Quick Hatch. Let's start off by reviewing the current methodology. I'm going to hatch the following figures using two different hatch patterns using the current methodology. I will remove the hatch and let's start with our process. I will select under the main application, select hatch, and I'm going to select auto. And from the drop-down box I will select inside. I'm going to indicate the inside of the outer island and then the inside of the inner island. I will select option end to end and there's my hatch. But what if I wanted another hatch pattern? In this case, Caddie has used my previous setting that I've used for a previous hatch. Let's modify that by clicking on hatch parameter set, and I'm going to select the new hatch pattern that I want to use. I want to use a pattern called ANSI 32. So in my vertical scroll bar, I will scroll all the way up and select it. I also want to use the color as a pen 9, so I'll select from my color the drop down list, select pen 9. I will keep the scale as what it is at the moment. To modify the hatch on the screen, I will select parameter edit and indicate the hatch. In the same way, if I wanted to have a red hatch fill, I would do the same. I will select hatch parameter set, select my fill, select the color, I will select OK, parameter edit, and I'll indicate the hatch to modify. In the latest version of Caddie, we have improved this by implementing a function called Quick Hatch. Let's have a look. Here's my drawing that I want to hatch, and I'm going to select the new function called Quick Hatch. You'll notice a new pop-up appears, and in there is a palette, and I've got these options that I can toggle between the different hatch patterns. Clicking on the tabs, I can scroll through the different types. From presets, I can click on line style. I've got my different patterns that I've defined. By clicking on the right arrow, I can scroll more to the right, there's my fill, and then I've got gradient hatch and custom, which I have not defined yet. A very simple and effective way of navigating between the different hatches. Now let's look at the bottom half of the palette window. This would define the way I would like to apply the hatching. For instance, closed objects or edit. And I also got the parameter set option on the right hand side as well as parameter get. All the commands I need at one place. Clicking on parameter set, we'll see the same controls as before. Let's repeat the previous exercise and look at the advantages. Immediately, I can select the correct hatch by seeing the preview thereof. I merely click it, I will drag it and drop it into the area. Now I'll click on the inside to define the island. But what if I wanted to have a red fill? All I have to do, click on the fill, select the hatch I require. I'm going to change my application to edit, click it, drag it and just drop it on the existing hatch. I've used a basic shape to demonstrate the hatch. Let's look at a more involved area to hatch. Remember the previous hatch we used was a fill, but now I want to use brick on plan. Using the previous method, I would go and parameter set or get and first set it up before I could insert the hatch. By using the new Quick Hatch feature, I have the advantage now that I can visually confirm using the correct hatch pattern during my process of implementation, which in turn will cut down on my time for editing. Let's demonstrate this. I know I want ANSI 32 as a hatch pattern. All I have to do is click on patterns and the tabs. There is my hatch pattern. Making sure looking at the bottom of the screen, I'm going to go for closed object. All I have to do, click, drag and drop it inside, indicate the island. No need to edit wrongly inserted hatches anymore. Let's look at the following example. This is what I'm going to start off with, and my end result should look like this. Let's see how we're going to do that. I'm going to start off with the foundations. From our palette we can see our foundation hatch, and these are the objects I'm going to hatch. As my foundation is defined as an island with 4 elements, I will select inside, click, drag and drop. Now let's do the walls. I have 4 defined islands. I'm going to select my hatch pattern, drag and drop them into each island. Now for the roof cover, I have defined a polyline, which means I need to change my way of input to closed object. I want a yellow fill, so I select from the tab fill, select the color, drag and just drop it onto the element. As the traces are defined as lines, I will select the inside mode for tracing and I will select my color and just drag and drop on the island. Should I later decide now to change the color, all I have to do is select my new color, I will select edit existing hatch, click, drag and drop, and Caddie will automatically replace it for me. Now the question is, how did I get those hatch patterns in my palette? I will demonstrate two ways. The first method is by adding a new hatch pattern. The second method is getting parameters from existing hatch patterns. I want to add a green hatch fill. All I have to do is go to parameter set, which is already at the bottom, and I'm going to select my pattern, select fill, green color, and all I have to do is select OK. Caddie has now populated into my palette. I also want to create a new line style hatch pattern. All I need to do, select parameter set. I will select the line style I require with a color and all the parameters that I want, and merely select on OK. Caddie will now populate my new hatch pattern under the line styles. In the second example, I will demonstrate how to get the parameters and then reuse them. In this example, I have a few hatch patterns already defined that I want to reuse, and they might not be in my palette at the moment. To add them, all I have to do is parameter get, pick up from the existing, and it will populate it into my palette. I will demonstrate quickly. To pick up the existing parameters, all I have to do is click on parameter get, and I will indicate the existing hatch pattern to pick the parameters from. Caddie prompts for confirmation to pick the parameters from. When I select accept, it will populate into my quick hatch palette. I select closed object, select the hatch pattern, drag, and I will drop it into the area to be hatched. Let's add another hatch pattern. I will select parameter get. I will indicate the hatch to pick the parameters from, and select accept. It will populate into my quick hatch palette. All is left for me to do, select the hatch, click, drag and drop it into the area. The quick hatch palette will retain the last 12 settings that I've set up. The older or existing patterns will be replaced by new ones if it exceeds the number of 12. If we look at the presets, however, it's a different story. I select presets, and all these presets will remain there, and these are the presets that I have defined under the parameter set, as I will demonstrate now. In conclusion, I would like to demonstrate a little bonus. This enables me to graphically select the predefined hatch pattern. I will click on hatch parameter set. Instead of selecting from the drop down list, I will click on the preview option, and Caddie will bring up another palette where I can graphically select all the predefined hatch patterns available to me. This concludes our webinar on Quick Hatch. I hope you have found it informative, and we want to urge you to send requests and suggestions for future webinars.